that you weak. And we was in the field manifesting all our dreams. And please don't try to play like
There has been some new development in the Drug Enforcement Agency's ruling on what constitutes CBD products. So that would mean, and I'll just read this off here. The DEA released its final rule regarding enforcement of the new hemp laws from 2018 Farm Bill. The new interim final rule, IFR, appears to shut down CBD hemp extraction or any Delta 8 THC product created from formerly lawful CBD hemp. Enforcing these rules may lead to arrest of formerly lawful hemp farmers by DEA agents. So this
That's
is
very
coming.
strong enforcement.
Right. So I got all this from a cannabis lawyer named Thomas Howard. He has a YouTube channel. You guys should check him out. But on his website here, there's all the entire IFR, the interim final ruling or final rule. And basically, it just outlines what many might have seen coming with some of the vape scares that were
hmm
happening. Was that in
hmm
Colorado? Where they were
I
having like
mean, the vape scares was really happening. The point of the vape scares was that it was happening everywhere. That
right,
was the issue. It may have started there, as in a hotspot for vaping, but vaping is something that hit by storm because it was done and there weren't any rules against it, right? And then so
mhm,
right after no rules, you have companies making crappy product. So no rules equals crappy product equals sick people. Sick people unfortunately meant deaths, and the population that went after this were children. So you have deaths to a lot of children. Really, that was it was kind of a very quick reaction to be able to enforce rules against vape. But what I thought was the most interesting fact I learned is that there were some big tobacco companies that purchased stake in companies like Juul or other vape companies
well, of course.
and allow them to kind of
Yeah, like if you
coexist.
the blue e-cig or whatever,
hmm
those ones that used to be out, those are owned by a tobacco company. There are a number of them. I mean, they were just trying to shift the tide or move with the tide. But
That's
I
very
think a
true.
lot of it has to do with just kind of the gas station picking it up and all these stores kind of popping up all over the country, big signs. And even I noticed kind of in conversations, so like for clarity, I guess we need to, we haven't really discussed this too much on the podcast before, but CBD and hemp are different things, one and the same, but when processed in the kind of the final form, they're different, right? CBD coming primarily from the chemical components in the bud, while hemp is being used for a lot of the things, the applications that we've already discussed, from biochar, textile, plastic, paper,
hmm
wood-like products, concrete, and then the seed, which is used in food and oil products. So uh, all of what I just described do not fit within this new ruling. However, products made deriving from that bud form into CBD extract products, right, which is exactly what the ruling says, is I guess is the new target, is the new outlawed thing, regardless of what came before in that 2018 hemp farm
Yeah,
bill.
but see,
So
the rulings are are something to definitely, and especially keywords are interim, where there probably is right now a process where they're going to go through doing some of this enforcement, and then the reactions will judge whether they keep on doing the enforcement, right? So we'll see what happens as time goes. But what's good is that the the ruling really affects CBD companies that are sole CBD companies that may have not been doing the proper thing to be compliant and stay compliant. And then even if they may be working with like a licensed farmer, they may be processing and retailing in a way where they're going to be enforced upon, and the ruling will just come into play. And I think a company like ours, where we're gonna be chameleons in the industry and adapt to the environment, because we definitely have a diverse skill set in terms of products and the things that we're looking to really benefit the world with.
Right. Well, and this is something I think that we've stated really from the beginning, maybe not so much on the podcast. And I think that that's a conversation that I'd like to have. I think we've discussed it before. Really, the different layers of the CBD business, kind of what people are doing there. There's a lot of snake oil. There's a lot of um, just kind of just manipulation of different products and just kind of throwing CBD and everything. But there are a lot of really important qualities, medicinal qualities there, pain relief, anxiety, and they actually
And
shift over into domestic animals or even just farm animals. And that is something that we shouldn't ignore, but for the moment, obviously, this is a clear warning. I forget exactly what the lawyer said. I recommend anyone listening to this, please go over and watch that video. I will put it in the description down below. But he describes it as like an announcement period, I believe it's called, and it's basically just kind
right,
of scaring all the wolves out of the forest or whatever. Go do something else, or the sheep because the wolves are coming. I'm not really sure where that analogy was going, but yeah. So it's
but
disappointing, but these
yeah,
things
I
can
mean,
change with new presidents
stop,
and
stop,
stuff.
stop, stop, stop. So,
Yeah.
so we don't want to portray any level of fear in the ruling and things coming in. That's
Okay.
why I even look at it as like, it's obstacles, but it's not like things that we can't get around because of our versatility. Yeah, it can be, but it's not. These things and these rulings are part of the process in this business, a new industry, and I there aren't obstacles that aren't workarounds and things that we can adjust to and grow from, if
Right.
anything. And the the just to touch on the difference and what they're really keying in on, CBD, cannabidiol, can are different compounds that are in the plant hemp, right? And the hemp plant can have a low amount of these compounds or a high amount of these compounds. And with that, you have different forms of what the plant can grow to. And if you harvest a plant that has a high amount of compounds, and then you do the cultivation methods that allow it to turn into a flowering plant, then you'll have flower or buds with a high level of the cannabinoids. But if you don't, and this is something that we focus on, we grow for seed and for stalk, where we're not looking to focus on having flower that would enhance the cannabidiol profile of the plant. We're looking to just have the stalk so that we can create the products that we create. Hemp has its own uh, benefits for the skin, internally, externally, for people and animals alike. What's great about hemp oil, hemp seeds, it's very versatile as well as a product. It can be used in a couple of different areas. We've talked a little bit about it before in a couple podcasts, but it's great to always refresh and look at how wonderful the plant is, because we can use every single part of it.
Like we always say, if you can knock on wood, you can knock on hemp. We process hemp seed, stalk, and fiber into a myriad of carbon-negative materials, all to create planet-positive products. Our dependence on unsustainable resources is not slowing down. We need to rely on hemp now more than ever, or we'll all end up like this. In times like these, you should knock on hemp. Visit our website to learn more about what we can do with hemp. Follow us at Knock on Hemp